Welcome to the end of the world.
I mean, it's like
the end of the world.
What's up, Brew Crew? Welcome back to Beer City Board Games. I'm Clay, and this is Doomlings, a chaotic card game for 2 to 6 players designed by Justice and Andrew Meyer and published by Doomlings LLC, who provided me with this review copy. Let's take a quick look at how the game plays, then we'll come back up and I'll let you know what I think. Now, before I get started, let me just say that this neoprene mat was not included in the base box. This was something that could be added on separately. Doomlings plays over 3 ages, and the end of each age is marked by a catastrophe. Players are going to take turns playing down trait cards that will give them some combination of points or abilities, and at the end of the game, the player with the most points wins. To set up the game, you're going to shuffle the ages cards and deal out 3 stacks of 3 age cards each. Then you will add 1 random catastrophe card to each pile. Shuffle each pile separately and stack them on top of each other. You'll place the Birth of Life card on top of the stack. Give each player a gene pool card and a player aid. The gene pool card is going to be set at 5, and this basically represents your hand size that you will have at the end of your turn. Then shuffle the trait cards together and deal each player 5 and put the remaining trait cards in a face-down draw pile. Determine the first player and they will flip over the top card from the Ages deck at the beginning of their turn. In the first round of the game, this will be the Birth of Life card, which doesn't do anything special. However, the remaining Ages cards will typically have some sort of effect on gameplay. Sometimes letting you draw more cards, sometimes restricting the cards that can be played in front of you, and so on. 3 times over the course of the game, a catastrophe card will get flipped. When that happens, first you'll adjust your gene pool, essentially changing the hand limit. Then you'll resolve any effect on that catastrophe card. At the very bottom of the catastrophe card in yellow is a World's End effect. Now, this can be ignored unless it is the 3rd catastrophe card to be flipped, thereby ending the game immediately. After the 1st and 2nd catastrophe cards are flipped, the first player passes to the next player clockwise, and the new first player will now flip over the Ages cards at the beginning of their turn. On your turn, you'll choose 1 trait card from your hand and play it down in front of you into what they call the trait pile. Some cards have no text, just a number of victory points at the bottom. Others have an action that you can take when the card is played. Certain traits are called dominant traits, and they're denoted by the yellow border and the stars around them. These traits have particularly strong powers or provide additional end-of-game scoring opportunities. However, you can only ever play 2 dominant traits for the entire game, and they cannot be discarded, swapped, or stolen. The play will continue around and around the table, first resolving the age, and then each player playing a card until the 3rd catastrophe card is flipped. Once all of its effects are applied, players will tally up their final scores. First, add up the points found at the bottoms of the cards. Some cards will have a star in the bottom corner in place of a point value, which means that the number of points you score for that card is dependent on other factors. For example, the Swarm card earns points based on how many Swarm cards have been played in total amongst all the players. Once these points are added, you can add any points earned from dominant traits, most points wins. So that's a high-level overview of how to play Doomlings. Now let's head back up, and I'll let you know what I think of it. Now I'm going to start right off by saying that this is the type of card game that I really have been trying to get away from reviewing, because generally speaking, I really don't care for most games of this type. I've been sent a few other games that are a similar, chaotic, take that kind of game, and I almost always end up disliking them. But I will admit that when they reached out to me to review Doomlings, I was a little bit intrigued. The game still sounded like a lot of chaos and very take-thatty, but it's been around for a little while now, and I've seen it popping up in a lot of different places. Plus, their convention booths are almost always packed with big long lines of people waiting to spin their prize wheel. So I said yes, mainly out of curiosity. So first off, let me say that I don't quite understand their business model with the foil cards. I guess that each box comes with a hollow foil card that can replace one of the existing cards in the game. I took a look on eBay, and it does look like folks are at least trying to sell them at a marked up price. I'm used to seeing that kind of stuff from collectible card games. It just seems strange to me in a game like this. That being said, the quality of the cards is fine. Not super high quality here, but they hold up pretty well, and those hollow foil cards do look pretty nice. As far as the gameplay itself, it's very simple. You're going to flip over a card and do what that card says. Then each of you will play your own card and do what that card says. That's about all there is to it. It's not really a game that allows you to strategize much, because so much of it is going to depend on what cards end up in your hand, and your opponents can play cards that can really screw you over. There seems to be quite a few cards that will let you either steal or swap other cards that people have played. So if you play down a card that's worth a lot of points early on, chances are somebody's going to take that away from you. The timing of the rounds can be a little bit wonky too. It's definitely possible to pull back-to-back catastrophe cards, although to be fair, I don't think that round structure or turn order are incredibly important here. Now, that was quite a bit of fairly negative feedback, and in most other situations, I think that would be about the end of the review. But the weird thing is, every time I've played Doomlings, we do end up having fun. There's no pretense here. The game is being what it set out to be, and it leans into the chaos. And it's a quick enough game that I don't mind living in that chaos for a little while. It can feel pretty cool when you throw down a card that makes everybody else jealous. And there are a fair number of unique cards in the base game, plus several expansions, so it won't be hard to keep the game feeling fresh. It's definitely not a game that I'm going to build a game night around, but if me and my friends are sitting around having a couple of drinks, I have no problem breaking out Doomlings. Its simplicity does make it very approachable, and the fact that it's being sold in Target means that it's going to be really easy to get your hands on. So, there you have it, Doomlings. It's not the type of game that I would typically keep in my collection, but this one might stick around for a little while. I think if you like other silly, chaotic card games like Exploding Kittens, Happy Little Dinosaurs, or Unstable Unicorns, then I think Doomlings is worth checking out. I know that I would personally choose Doomlings over any of those other 3 games. Alright, that's it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, let's get another round for the table.